Welcome back to Survival Insights. If you're new here, I've been camping in a Teardrop trailer for over 5 years, and I've made pretty much every gear mistake you can imagine. Today, I'm breaking down 12 pieces of equipment that have genuinely changed how I camp. But here's the catch. Nothing on this list gets recommended unless it's survived at least 6 months of real-world abuse. Rain, freezing temperatures, rough roads, and everything in between, so don't miss out. Let's jump into the gear that actually matters. Dual-zone portable freezer. Let's start with the biggest upgrade I've made in years. The Iceco APL35 dual-zone portable freezer. Now, I already had a refrigerator in my setup, but over the last 2 years, it developed serious issues that nearly ruined multiple camping trips. The old unit was a Dometic, and while it served me well for about 3 years, the compressor started failing whenever temperatures climbed above 80 degrees. I'd open the galley door, direct sunlight would hit the black exterior, and the whole system would just quit cooling. Food would spoil, drinks would get warm, and I'd be stuck dealing with a $500 paperweight. So I needed something that could handle direct sun exposure, maintain separate temperature zones for frozen and refrigerated items, and actually fit in my Teardrop's limited space. The Iceco checked every single box, and then some. First thing you'll notice is this silver finish. This isn't just aesthetic. Silver reflects heat instead of absorbing it like black surfaces do. I've tested this in over 90-degree weather with the galley door wide open, and the exterior never exceeded 90 degrees while the interior stayed perfectly cold. That's impressive insulation. Here's what makes this design brilliant. The entire interior is aluminum, not plastic. That means superior heat dissipation and better temperature retention overall. One zone can operate as a freezer down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit, while the other side stays at refrigerator temperature around 38 degrees. Or you can run the entire unit as one large fridge if that's what you need. For my setup, having dedicated ice storage has been absolutely game-changing. I can keep perfect ice cubes frozen solid while storing perishable food separately, something that was impossible with my previous single-zone setup. But here's where it gets even better. This is their 250 watt-hour portable battery, and it magnetizes directly to the side of the cooler. Now you're probably thinking, wait, that's aluminum. Magnets don't stick to aluminum. You're absolutely right, which is why they built this genius magnetic strip right here on the front panel. Click it into place, and suddenly you have a genuinely portable freezer that'll run for 12 hours completely off-grid. Imagine taking this down to a river for a full day of fishing with cold drinks the entire time, or setting up a picnic spot away from your vehicle without worrying about anything warming up. It's genuinely next-level convenience. Froly Star Sleep System. Item number 2 is something I installed about a year ago, and honestly, can't imagine sleeping without anymore. The Froly Star Sleep System. Here's the problem this solves. Condensation. When you sleep in a camper or trailer, your body heat creates moisture, and that moisture gets trapped between your mattress and the floor. Over time, this creates mildew, musty odors, and a genuinely uncomfortable sleeping environment that can actually damage your mattress. The Froly Star is essentially a supportive grid system that installs under your mattress, creating airflow channels that completely eliminate condensation buildup. I installed this myself in about 30 minutes using their straightforward instructions, and the difference was immediately noticeable. What I didn't expect was the dramatic improvement in actual sleep quality. This grid system provides a supportive, slightly springy feel that's significantly more comfortable than just a mattress sitting on plywood. I was waking up less stiff and sore, which makes a huge difference when you're camping for multiple nights in a row. The cost-to-benefit ratio here is outstanding. You're protecting your mattress investment, preventing mold and mildew issues, and improving sleep quality for a fraction of what premium bedding would cost. If you sleep in any kind of camper or trailer and you're dealing with moisture problems or uncomfortable sleep, this is absolutely the solution you need. Water management system. Problem solver. Number 1 is my complete water management upgrade. A 5-gallon water jug paired with a USB rechargeable pump faucet. Here's the context. My Teardrop doesn't have a built-in water tank, so I've always had to transport water manually. For years, I used a tiny 2-gallon container, and on any trip longer than one night, I'd completely run dry. Running out of water in the backcountry is genuinely miserable. You start rationing every drop, you skip washing dishes, you can't properly wash your hands. It significantly degrades your camping experience. So I finally upgraded to this 5-gallon container. I found it at Costco for about $40, which is substantially cheaper than outdoor specialty retailers. It's also available on Amazon if you don't have a warehouse membership. What I love about this jug is the dual fill system. There's this large opening for quick filling from standard taps, and a smaller opening for awkward situations like filling from streams or narrow spigots. The game changer is pairing it with this rechargeable pump. You can find dozens of these on Amazon for $15 to $20. You simply drop the intake hose into your water container, press the power button, and you instantly have running water wherever you're camped. It charges via USB from any power bank or solar setup. A single charge lasts through an entire weekend trip easily. The water pressure isn't shower strength, but it's absolutely perfect for washing hands, cleaning dishes, rinsing vegetables, and filling coffee makers. This combination has dramatically improved my quality of life while camping. I'm no longer stressing about water conservation. I stay cleaner, cooking is more convenient, and I don't have to cut trips short just because I ran out of water. If you're in a similar situation without a built-in water system, upgrading to at least a 5-gallon container is one of the best investments you can make. Your future camping self will genuinely thank you. Portable shower solution. Next up is something I debated purchasing for a while, the FlexTail Tiny Shower. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I absolutely love their tiny pump for inflating sleeping pads and other inflatables. This portable shower weighs just 7 ounces, which means you could easily take it backpacking if desired. But for car camping and quick rinse situations, it's absolutely perfect. The concept is brilliantly simple. This is the pump unit with an attached food-grade silicone hose. You drop the intake into any water source, a bucket, a river, a lake, even a puddle in desperate situations, and it pumps water through this shower head attachment. Let me demonstrate. You snap the pump into the hose with this easy click connection, activate it, and you immediately have a functional portable shower. The water pressure is surprisingly strong for such a compact device. Now, this obviously won't replace a hot shower at home, but for rinsing off after hikes, washing mud off boots, cleaning your dog, or a quick body rinse when you're feeling grimy, it's absolutely ideal. One of my favorite applications is actually vehicle maintenance. When I'm on muddy trails and my windshield gets completely caked with dirt, I fill a bucket, drop this pump in, and spray down the windows and mirrors. Takes maybe 2 minutes, and suddenly I can actually see where I'm driving. It's also excellent for gear cleanup. After muddy hikes, I rinse off boots, trekking poles, and camping chairs before packing them away. This keeps everything cleaner and prevents dirt buildup in my vehicle. Super compact, fully rechargeable, incredibly versatile. It's one of those tools you don't think you need until you own it. And then you find yourself using it constantly. Trail camera upgrade. Number 7 is my trail camera upgrade. And I learned this lesson the expensive way. This is the Guard Pro model, which represents a significant quality improvement over the cheap camera I initially purchased. My first trail camera literally fell apart on its first trip. The hinges broke, the latch wouldn't stay closed, and the image quality was terrible. Total waste of money. The reason I wanted trail cameras in the first place was to capture wildlife movement around my campsite during nighttime hours. I set them up on trees near my camper, and in the morning, I checked the footage to see what wandered through. Except the one time I got lazy and didn't set them up, I had the wildlife encounter of a lifetime. Let me show you this footage. I wake up one morning to discover these massive tracks completely surrounding my camper. 3 different sets of tracks, what appeared to be large cat prints, possibly mountain lions, and definite bear tracks based on the claw patterns and size. Based on the evidence, it looks like a bear and possibly 2 large cats walked within 20 feet of where I was sleeping, and I have 0 footage because I skipped setting up the cameras that night. I have never forgiven myself for that mistake. Now the cameras go up every single night without exception. So I upgraded to this Guard Pro model, which has substantially better build quality. The hinges are solid metal, the clasps lock securely, and the picture quality is noticeably sharper, especially in low light conditions. It wasn't even significantly more expensive than the cheap version, maybe an extra $20 or $30. But the difference in reliability and image quality is absolutely night and day. If you're going to invest in a trail camera, skip the absolute cheapest options. Spend just slightly more and get something that'll actually last and capture clear, usable footage. Because trust me, you don't want to miss the one time a bear and large predators walk through your campsite. Portable camp stove setup. Number 3 is actually a 2-part system that completely revolutionized my camp cooking. The Camp Chef portable stove paired with their griddle attachment. I needed something powerful enough to handle everything from a small coffee press all the way up to cooking 4 burger patties simultaneously. My previous setup worked fine for basic tasks, but it lacked the power and versatility I wanted for more serious cooking. This stove is an absolute beast. Watch this demonstration. One of the legs has a built-in igniter. Single push, lights instantly every single time, and the heat control is incredibly precise. You can simmer delicate sauces on low or blast steaks with intense high heat. The fuel versatility is fantastic. It comes with a hose that connects to a standard 20-pound propane tank, but you can also use those 1-pound green bottles or even small isobutane canisters. I've used all three options depending on the type of trip, and they all work flawlessly. The legs fold down completely flat for compact storage, and there are adjustable supports that accommodate anything from a tiny cup to a massive cast iron skillet. Nothing wobbles, nothing tips. The stability is rock solid even on uneven ground. Now, the griddle attachment is where this setup truly shines. This is a non-stick griddle pan that fits perfectly on the stove burner. It has flip-out handles, so you won't burn yourself during transport. And check out this clever feature. See this little screw here? That's a drain spout. When you're cooking something extremely greasy like bacon, you simply unscrew this cap, attach this drain tube, and all that excess grease flows directly into a separate container instead of pooling on your cooking surface. It's such a simple solution, but it makes cleanup dramatically easier. I've cooked complete breakfast spreads on this setup: eggs, bacon, pancakes, hash browns, all at the same time. The heat distribution is so even that nothing burns, and cleanup genuinely takes about 5 minutes. It includes this protective carrying case that keeps everything organized and prevents damage during transport. Whether you're car camping, tailgating, or just cooking outdoors at home, this combination is absolutely worth the investment. Alright, before we continue, do me a quick favor. If you're finding this video valuable and you want to see all this gear in action during actual camping trips, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post new camping content every week, and your support genuinely helps me test more gear and explore new locations. DIY Air Compressor Kit. This next item is my pride and joy. My budget DIY air compressor kit. I recently started airing down my tires for off-road driving, and the difference it makes is absolutely incredible. I genuinely don't understand why I wasn't doing this for the previous 5 years. The ride quality is dramatically smoother, traction improves significantly, and I'm not getting violently bounced around on rough terrain. The problem is you need a reliable way to air back up before hitting pavement. Otherwise, you'll destroy your tires and waste fuel. Professional air compressor setups easily cost $300 to $500, which seemed excessive. So I went full DIY mode and built this custom kit for approximately $100 total. Here's exactly how I did it. I found someone selling a brand new, still-in-the-box ARB single air compressor for $50. $50. These retail for at least $250, sometimes $300 when new. Then I grabbed this heavy-duty protective case from Harbor Freight for about $15, picked up some electrical wiring supplies and quick connect fittings, and assembled a complete portable air system for under $100. Everything I need is contained in this single case. I simply pop my hood, use jumper cables to connect directly to the battery, and the compressor handles the rest. It'll inflate a tire from 15 psi back up to 35 psi in approximately 3 to 4 minutes. Not the fastest compressor available, but for the price point, I genuinely cannot complain, because everything lives in this protective case. Nothing gets damaged bouncing around in my vehicle. It's organized, portable, and honestly looks pretty professional for a DIY build. If you're on a budget and want to start airing down for off-road adventures, I highly recommend going the DIY route. You can save hundreds of dollars and end up with equipment that performs just as well as expensive commercial kits. Nitro Cold Brew Coffee Setup. Number 8 is for all the coffee enthusiasts out there. My Nitro Cold Brew Keg System. This is definitely more of a warm weather piece of gear. But if you enjoy cold brew coffee, this setup is legitimately impressive. It's essentially a small keg that uses CO2 cartridges to pressurize and nitro infuse your cold brew. You fill it with cold brew concentrate, charge it with a CO2 cartridge, shake vigorously to infuse the nitrogen, and you have coffeehouse quality nitro cold brew at your campsite. Let me demonstrate. You've got your CO2 cartridge here. Screw it into the lid mechanism, give it a thorough shake to properly infuse the nitrogen, and then you simply pour. Look at that cascade effect. The nitro infusion makes the coffee incredibly smooth and creamy without any dairy products whatsoever. It's a completely different drinking experience compared to regular cold brew. I've taken this on multiple camping trips, including a 2-week adventure in Canada. There's something genuinely satisfying about sitting beside a remote lake at 8 in the morning with a perfect nitro cold brew in hand. It has a pressure gauge on the bottom, so you know exactly when you need to add more CO2. And the entire unit is surprisingly durable. It's bounced around in my vehicle for hundreds of miles without any issues. Obviously, this isn't essential camping equipment, but it's one of those luxury items that simply makes the outdoor experience more enjoyable. If you're a coffee enthusiast and you camp during warm weather, it's absolutely worth considering. Campsite cleanup tools. Number 9 is something I wish wasn't necessary, but I use it constantly: my trash grabber tool. Here's the unfortunate reality. Far too many campsites are completely trashed when I arrive. I've rolled up to locations that look like someone hosted a party and just abandoned all their garbage. Let me show you footage from a few months ago. Look at this campsite. Trash everywhere. Food wrappers, plastic bottles, even a dirty diaper just sitting there in the woods. A dirty diaper in the wilderness. The disrespect is genuinely mind-boggling. I've cleaned up so many sites at this point that I finally invested in a proper trash grabber. Without it, you absolutely destroy your back bending over hundreds of times to pick up debris. I also adopted a highway section about 2 years ago, which means I'm responsible for cleaning 3 miles of roadway on both sides. That's 6 total miles of walking and trash collection. Without this grabber tool, that would be physically impossible. Your back would give out after the first mile. This particular model is lightweight, has a comfortable grip, and breaks down into 2 pieces for compact storage. It lives permanently in my vehicle, because you genuinely never know when you'll need it. Look, I know this isn't glamorous equipment, but leaving campsites cleaner than you found them is fundamental outdoor ethics. If everyone practiced this, we wouldn't have trash problems in the first place. But until that day arrives, I'll keep carrying the grabber and doing my part to keep wild places beautiful. Folding saw item number 10 is something I should have purchased years ago. A proper folding saw. Believe it or not, I went 5 years of camping and creating content without owning a saw. I had an axe and a hatchet, but no saw whatsoever. And there was one specific trip where I desperately needed a saw and didn't have one. My chainsaw got pinched in a log, and I had to hack it free with an axe because I had no other option. Let me show you that footage. The chainsaw is completely stuck, and I'm attempting to free it by chopping from underneath, which is both sketchy and incredibly time-consuming. A simple handsaw would have solved that problem in approximately 2 minutes. So I got this folding saw, and it's been incredibly useful ever since. It folds down super compact, clicks together securely when extended, and cuts through logs far faster than you'd expect from such a portable tool. It's essentially your backup for your chainsaw. If something goes wrong or you need to make precise cuts, the saw is the perfect solution. Found it on Amazon for a reasonable price, and it's already paid for itself multiple times over. Beavercraft hatchet number 11 is this excellent Beavercraft hatchet that was actually sent to me by a viewer. Huge thanks for that generous gift. This is the perfect size for detailed wood processing. Not too large, not too small, just right. The balance is excellent, and it arrived scary sharp straight out of the packaging. You can do precision cuts for kindling, baton smaller logs, all those detailed woodworking tasks. It just feels exceptionally well made in the hand. I've used it on probably a dozen trips now, and it's holding its edge remarkably well. The craftsmanship is genuinely impressive, especially considering the reasonable price point. If you're looking for a compact hatchet for camping applications, I definitely recommend checking out Beavercraft. Quality tools without the premium price tag. Alright, so if I had to choose my absolute top 3 from this entire list, it would be the dual zone freezer, the Froly Star sleep system, and the complete stove and griddle combination. Those 3 items genuinely transformed my entire camping experience. But honestly, every single thing on this list has earned its place in my gear collection through months of real-world testing in actual field conditions. I'm not recommending equipment I used once. This is thoroughly tested gear that's proven its value. And if you want to see all this equipment in action during actual camping adventures, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you don't miss my weekly uploads. I've got some incredible trips planned where you'll see a lot of this gear being pushed to its limits in challenging conditions. You definitely don't want to miss that content. Thanks so much for watching. Now get out there, upgrade your gear, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Happy camping!